Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the new and, I must say, improved Sci-Fi Buzz. Stay tuned. This week, we rummage around behind the scenes of The X-Files to find the most coveted props on TV. The flying saucers have landed in Bob's basement. Harlan Ellison's predictions for the new year. And Rebel director Terry Gilliam makes up with Universal Pictures and makes a new film.
You said that I had delusions, that I created this world. You said you could explain everything.
I can't!
Glug, 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 glug. Mike Jarek here. Now, I don't have an open, sucking chest wound. That's actually the sound of Sequest going down for the third time. Oops, I'm not being mean, I'm just reporting the news. Bringing up more information here from NBC. They say they're submerging that series for good. Why not? You know, over the last 3 seasons, I watched this thing closely. It's been 3 different shows. I even took notes. Year 1, science, fact, and fiction, okay? Year 2, wild fantasy. Year 3, this is where they went wrong. They tried to play it safe. More traditional science fiction. Well, Sequest, rest in peace. Here's some pretty cool news. Next week is the premiere of the first sci-fi TV comedy in a long time. Third Rock from the Sun is the name of it, and it'll star John Lithgow. It'll be on Tuesday nights, by the way. But the big buzz around the old Sci-Fi Central here is the release of the sci-fi movie event of the year, 12 Monkeys. Ooh, boy. Directed by Terry Gilliam. I've seen it. It's good. Oh, it's good. You want to meet Terry? Here he is.
Semmelweis comes along. He's trying to convince people, well, other doctors mainly, that there are these teeny tiny invisible bad things called germs that get into your body and make you sick. Huh? He's trying to get doctors to wash their hands. What is this guy? Crazy?
2 of Hollywood's top stars, Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt, waived their usual exorbitant fees and worked for scale in Universal Pictures' new sci-fi thriller, 12 Monkeys. Inspired by a short French film called The Runaway, 12 Monkeys follows a reluctant time traveler from the year 2035 back to 1996. His mission? To prevent a deadly virus from annihilating the future of mankind.
Cut it! And read it.
Monty Python alum Terry Gilliam, the visionary behind fantastic fare like Brazil and The Fisher King, accepted the daunting task of directing the $30 million project. He's long been called a perfectionist by his film industry peers. And in the course of editing and re-editing this complex, intelligent film, that meticulousness caused him to go a little bonkers. How many times have you seen 12 Monkeys?
50, 60 times.
Yeah. Do you ever
hate it?
Well, quit going back.
It's like I'm trapped in a time. It's just like the film itself. I can't get away from the thing. It just goes round and round and round.
You could probably watch it, though, 500 times and never be happy with it. Are you that kind of person?
No, it gets very bad, because the more you watch it, the more you get obsessed by little details that are not important to anybody else but you, the watcher of 50 or 60 times. And that's what's dangerous, and you get obsessed with things. And so at a certain point along that process, you actually lose sight of the film. All you can see is details, and that one isn't right, and that one's a bit too much. And you spend all your time doing that, and in the course of it, you may actually mess up the totality. So it's a really dangerous time, the editing process.
Wait, stop here. Stop the car. Stop, right here. I was right. They're here. 12 Monkeys.
Gilliam's contempt for Universal was big news a decade ago when the studio branded Brazil a turkey and threatened to block the film's release. Thankfully, any differences were set aside on 12 Monkeys, and a respectful relationship was enjoyed by one and all.
I think the fact that we did have our major battle last time around, they knew what they were getting into, so everybody, it's gone very smoothly. In fact, it's been, as far as dealing with the studio, it's been the easiest, most enjoyable of anything I've ever done, because of the previous problems, and I've never had any involvement. We've just gone on and made this film the way we wanted to.
Things did get a little tense early on when the studio handed Gilliam a list of superstars they had in mind for the film. Gilliam balked until a name came up that he, much to the studio's relief, could live with.
They'd offered up several, and I walked away from the projects. This is stupid. If that's what you think is a good idea, I'm off. And then a few weeks later, I got a call saying Bruce Willis is very keen. And I'd met him before, and I liked him. I thought, this is interesting. And we met in New York and talked about it and realized, yeah, this could really be good.
Can't travel back in time. Whoop, whoop. People don't exist.
Both Willis and co-star Madeline Stowe say Gilliam's rumored reputation for being a chaotic director has been blown way out of proportion.
Terry is one of my heroes. The stories he tells have a sense of chaos in them, but he's a very ordered guy, very, rational thinking guy.
He adores things that are unexpected and things flying in from left field. And if he doesn't leave the day surprised by what happened, he's really unhappy.
12 Monkeys has just spread rampantly to theaters across America. We'll drool over some paranormal props from the X-Files, and Harlan Ellison drops in and drops some bombs. Next. Speaking of Susan Hyman, she's here with us now. Hi, Suze.
Hi, Mike.
Now, I know that you went up to Vancouver recently for the X-Files special.
That's right.
By the way, that was special. That was special.
I was hoping you saw that one.
Yeah.
While I was up there working on the X-Files special that aired on the channel last month, I was privy to a secret tour of the prop house. I mean, all that stuff they use in the X-Files. It was incredible.
Did the producers know you were doing that?
Who cares?
Okay, so these are the 600 milliliter ones. These ones want.
Is that the fake one?
These are the breakaway ones. Well,
Sure.
Here.
Remember, don't try this at home.
Yeah, those are them.
Based in Vancouver, where the series is filmed, Ken Harlew and his crack staff are responsible for providing the props on every X-Files episode. That entails just about anything an actor picks up or handles in a scene.
A lot of what we do is manufacture. We do an awful lot of built from scratch props that are made specifically for particular episodes.
Harlew has been the prop master on several other TV series and has dealt with devoted viewers who long to own a piece of a show. But never has he encountered the obsessive demeanor of X-Files fans.
We've had some problems with stuff going missing, as any show does, but this show is a little more, I think, at risk for that sort of thing because the stuff is very collectible, has a very specific look. I mean, I hear all the time rumors about how much this stuff is fetching on the supposed black market, but it's just stuff to me.
Despite serious security problems, Harlew gave us a behind-the-scenes peek at some of the more high-profile props that have been used on this phenomenally popular show.
We're standing in one of our many props, lockups, and prop rooms for the X-Files. These are some of the things that we use on an ongoing basis. Some of the FBI equipment that Mulder and Scully carry with them everywhere they go and use in almost every episode. Some of this stuff here, we've got some elephant parts from an elephant autopsy that we did, the Fred Flintstone rib cage that we took out of the elephant. We got the elephant feet here that were sticking out. Some elephant skin down here, which is lovely for reupholstering your couch. And down this way, this is some of the stuff from various episodes. We've got some rubber weapons from various episodes that we've done for hitting people over the head with, for dropping, for whatever, just for safety purposes. These are axes that were used in an episode that involved some cannibals that were cutting people's heads off and boiling them in pots. And this is the grave marker for Agent Scully, who looked like she was going to pull through on one episode, but as it turns out, she made it, so that's a bit of a collector's item. And some various files and photographs from a variety of episodes. We do stage an awful lot of crime scenes for various episodes, because a lot of people die in the X-Files, it seems, so we do a lot of that stuff for some of the more violent crimes. And this is an ice core sample from one of the more popular episodes we've done called Ice, that took place in the Arctic.
Though he may appear just a tad blasé about the wealth of coveted articles in his care, Harlew says he's thrilled to be a part of the X-Files.
I mean, it's the coolest show on TV. I mean, if I weren't, working on it, I'd still be watching it every Friday.
This is Jack Huntington of St. Albans, West Virginia. I'd like to recommend to all fans of action-packed SF and fantasy comics the works of Masamune Shirow, a truly incredible manga writer-artist. His brilliant, visceral, intellectual, hyperkinetic work is highlighted by strikingly realistic, speculative, high technologies and concepts, excellent humorous 3D characterization, an unusually cinematic yet very expressive drawing style, and some of the greatest action scenes ever put to a comic book page. But a word of warning, this guy's the real deal. After reading his work, little else will satisfy you.
As we promised last week, a feature all by himself, our fabulous commentator, Harlan Ellison. Harlan?
Pinky, tonight we're going to take over the world.
Hey, and he came bearing gifts this time. You didn't have to do that, by the way.
Well, for you, listen, you're my pal.
You're my pal, too. Hey, this was written, what, in the 66, 65?
No, 67? I don't know.
67? Let's look it up.
Let's look it up. It's not like we know what we're doing
66,
here.
67.
Is that what it says? Yes.
Yeah. And you won a Hugo in 1967.
Won the Writers Guild Award. That's the important one.
Boom. Thank you very much for this. But this isn't new. Why don't you bring me something new?
No, it is new. This is the first time it's been in print.
But it's in stores now.
It is. Well, actually, it's coming in stores in trade. This is the limited edition at $75, and they're all gone.
I have one. Oh, we shouldn't block the game. No blocking, please.
I despise computer games. I think they are one of the great. They are second only to golf as being the greatest time waste the human race has ever invented.
Why do you say that?
Well, because they don't teach you anything. All you do is you waste time. 2-3 hours, you're sitting there like a moron. There's an entire generation of kids who are all goggle-eyed. They don't teach you anything except how to blow things up. So I've been putting it down. So now they come to me and they say, we want you to do a CD-ROM game. I said, eh. And then I quoted from Oscar Wilde and said, I can resist anything but temptation. And I figured as long as I'm putting it down, let me see if I can do a better one. So, using my little manual typewriter and a couple of game designers, I designed this game. I have no mouth and I must scream.
But do you know how to put it into a machine?
No, I tell you, turn the computer on, man. It's wonderful. It's the best part of all is reading the reviews. The reviews are going buggy. There's 40,000 units they've moved in 2 weeks.
Wow.
40,000 of these things. And Newsweek says it's a bold step forward. And CD-ROM Game Player and all these magazines, they say a brilliant. You know, and then they find out that I have a manual typewriter, and they say, how did this Luddite do this? And I say, because I'm smarter than you are. That's why.
So nothing's blowing up?
No. No, this is an ethical game. This is taken from my short story, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Yeah.
And it's after the war, after the big war, where each of the 3 master powers have sunk their giant computers into the center of the earth. The computers have linked up, become sentient, and programmed the war to destroy the entire human race. And the machine has brought the last 5 people alive on earth down into the center of the earth to torment them eternally. And you lead the adventures of these 5 people as they try to, in some way, retain their dignity. And you can't really win the game, but you will learn much about ethics and courage and friendship. And it's a pretty disturbing game, people are telling me.
That's pretty good. People are telling you because you have no idea, because you don't know how to play it.
I can't play it.
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask you. Me, everybody knows about me, but I watch the show and I look at you and I say, you know, who is this dude? Where does he come from? What does he do?
Well,
what's your favorite movie?
We'll delve into that at some other time. You know who my favorite person is? I'll tell you something about me.
What?
Back when I went into high school, it was a college prep school,
Yeah.
we had to write down who our 3 heroes were.
Right.
Martin Luther King.
Good.
Thomas Jefferson.
That's a good one.
Boom. And Jonathan Winters.
No.
Yeah. And my mom goes, you should change that last one. The Jesuits will freak when they see that.
Why,
no.
why Johnny?
Oh, he's just the best. I mean, because he would go into a place like this and just start picking up props and stuff and do a whole bit that would have me on the floor.
Did you want to be a comedian?
No, I would never have the nerve to do stand-up or anything like that.
What do you think you're doing here?
No, I'm sitting down. But we're supposed to be talking about the future here.
Okay, we're going to talk
it's
about
the first few days of 96. Do a little Gene Dixon on me here. I'm not even sure what that means.
Okay. Jack Nicholson will have an illegitimate child by Brad Pitt.
Whoa!
How's that? I mean, you heard it here first. I see. I got only a few predictions that I can because the prediction game is really, you know, that's silly. Nobody can see beyond the veil. But I will tell you this: the company called Pixar, which is the animation company that did Toy Story, is going to become one of the most important stocks on the big board. It opened the other day. It was supposed to come out at 12 or 14. It came out at 22. By the end of the day, it was at 49. All the heavy hitters dumped. Yeah. And now people are coming in on it over the counter.
Got money in there?
I couldn't get in. You couldn't. No? You couldn't get a share. They give it to people. They call it guys who have size.
Give me another one.
Another one. The Marvel Comics will probably not be around as we know it in 3 years. Marvel has already leased 4 of its major characters to Image Comics. They've never leased them for production. I mean, they've done crossovers, but they are now actually leasing their characters to Image to do the production. That's because Ron Perlman, the great green male raider of Wall Street who got into Marvel a number of years ago, and I told everybody, I said, this is not a good thing. Trust me, I'm telling you, this is not a good. This guy will wreck everything. He has just eaten the comic book market. He bought Heroes World, the distributor. Everybody ran for distributors, and they've broken it up so much that retail stores are closing left and right. Middle Earth in New Jersey, which is one of the big ones, just closed down. It's going to get worse. In 5 or 6 years, the 2 biggest players at the moment, DC and Marvel, will probably not be around as we know them today.
Wow. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl.
It's a football
well,
game.
it ain't going to be the Saints, unfortunately. I root for the poor Devils every year.
The Aints.
Well, it's a shame because they're so nifty. I mean, they got such beautiful uniforms. What we're going to discover in the next couple of years is that somebody's going to suddenly wake up as from a miasma and say, wait a minute, Brad Pitt can't act.
You see 12 Monkeys yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, I rest my case.
Tragic. Poor thing is.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Are you satisfied with the feature that we've done?
Yeah. Yeah, I love working this channel, although I won't pronounce the name of it. I do really like it, and every time I run into you, everybody says, God, why are you and Jarek such enemies? And I say, because I'm Jew and he's a Goy. I mean, you know, it's automatic.
That's the way it works. We'll take another trip to Bob's basement to find more discards from Hollywood movies after this rousing rhapsody.
This is Roy Dobbs of San Diego, California. I'd like to recommend the Illustrated Encyclopedia of Science Fiction by John Kluge. He's the author that did the Encyclopedia of Science Fiction and the CD-ROM version. This is a beautifully high-glossed science fiction book that has lots of illustrations and color biographies of all major writers in the science fiction field. It's a very nice book. Also, it's nice to collect it for autographs.
And now, once again, it's time to go to Bob's Basement to visit one of the world's biggest collectors of science fiction memorabilia and a guy who really knows his way around a dumpster, Bob.
But Bob, I do believe in UFOs. I understand you have some flying saucers here.
Well, sure. Doesn't everybody?
Well, no, I don't.
I'll show you
But
something.
wouldn't you know
Maybe
you
want
would?
some, but you
You're my
probably want
favorite
some.
dish anyway.
This here thing landed in my backyard right here. I landed by a bunch of cow stuff, and I picked it up. And my wife uses it for a lamp now. It's a nice thing. It landed, and it...
Bob?
Yeah.
Come out of it.
Oh.
Well, that was very good
Hi,
impression.
Mike. How are you? Oh, you're here to see the props, aren't you?
I didn't know you were from Arkansas.
I didn't either. This is from The Intruders, is what this is from.
Oh, yeah?
It was a TV miniseries about these aliens that abducted the women and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is a beautiful model.
What's it made out of?
It's all out of fiberglass. Got hundreds of lights on it.
God, look at all the detail on this
something,
thing.
the
Oh my
underbelly.
gosh, you're right. Look at all these lights across
Tons
the
of lights
top.
on here, yeah. And then to light them up, look what it takes to do that, though.
Oh, well, plug that in.
I
Look at all
can't
these
plug
wires.
this in. It
Why
would
not?
blow up my house.
No, you just don't have it working, do you? I
That's
know
true.
you. I know
That's
you.
true.
Whoa, this is a nice, sleek one, isn't it?
Isn't that neat?
Can I pick it up?
Yes, you can. That's made out of cardboard. A friend of mine, Mike Miner, made that.
That's cardboard?
Yes, it's called The Lost Saucer was the show. It was a Saturday morning show. Jim Neighbors and Ruth Bussey.
Golly!
And they had a budget of about $0.05, and that's why he built it out of cardboard. Now, this is the mothership from V.
The mothership!
This is the mothership, I'll tell you. Look at the detail in this. It's wonderful. It's fiberglass here again. All this stuff, you can get real close on this, which they did in the show.
When was this made?
This was in the, geez, I don't know what that was.
Was it in the 70s?
Yeah, late 70s, I think. Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so. But you can
Well,
see.
look at all the detail on the
Oh,
sides
it's loaded.
here.
And yeah, it used to light up, by the way, too, all that stuff.
Yeah?
It's really nice.
Underneath.
Good ship. Really a very, very nice model. Here again, that's another model of a flying saucer, your traditional flying saucer.
Oh, here's one with a different shape.
A friend of mine, Paul Blaisdell, made that for a movie in 1957 that I worked on with him called The Invasion of the Saucermen. And he wanted it to look different from the normal saucer.
Sure.
So this does. And here's the unique thing about this. 57, remember. Look at this.
Still works.
It works a lot better than I do.
Now, what is that? I mean,
This
it
is
on
made out
battery?
of white
No,
pine.
no,
It's a battery in here.
It's a battery?
Yeah, inside of here. And this is carved out of white pine.
What's this big notch out of
That
it?
happened in 1971, the earthquake.
So why do we always think of alien spaceships as flying saucers? Why always have that same shape?
Well, it got started around 1948. There was a private pilot flying around. He saw these saucers, something in the sky, and when he tried to describe them, he said they looked like saucers without cups on them, and it became flying saucer.
Oh, I recognize those. You had those on the Sci-Fi Buzz set, right?
Oh, yes, yeah. These are the original saucers from the original Plan 9 from outer space that Ed Wood made.
The real director, Ed Wood?
Yes. He went to a hobby shop and bought these. This is a Lindbergh flying saucer kit. Now, of course, through the years, they had the fantasy thing going and the mystery. It was paper plates. It was all kinds of crazy stuff. Hubcaps.
This is the model.
It is an actual model of a flying saucer.
From the 1950s.
Sure. Right. And then, when they did the Ed Wood movie with Johnny Depp, they did go to paper plates.
So they believed in the myth and the fantasy.
They wanted
then.
to keep the, yeah, because this looks really neat.
This is just Chinette, isn't it? It's just paper
exactly,
plates.
You betcha.
Oh, you dropped one here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, what's this one from?
Oh, that's my cat's food dish. Oh, man, he's coming now.
You have a cat?
Yeah.
Everybody who likes the new look here at Sci-Fi Buzz, how about a smattering of applause? I have to agree. We have to have our best face forward because on Friday nights, well, that's the night that X marks the night, you know, so you gotta be a little careful there. We may not be as cool as Mulder and Scully, but at least we don't work for the government, right?
Right.
Yeah, we don't even get paid, right?
Right.
Well, it's true for some of them. Hey, see you next week for Sci-Fi Buzz, everybody.
The apes' last hope for survival is an all-out battle against the humans who've enslaved them for so long. Battle for the Planet of the Apes concludes Planet of the Apes Week, hosted by Roddy McDowell, tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, Sci-Fi Friday. Now stay tuned for Mysteries, Magic, and Miracles, next on the Sci-Fi Channel.